that is America and Europe.
But they intend to do the Jews, then the Christians are next.
That's right.
There are many people in America say, well, if we would just stop supporting Israel, they'll leave us alone. That's an absolutely false assumption. We are connected together, not politically, we're connected together theologically.
Yes, appeasement, as Churchill said, is feeding the crocodile until I'm the last to go.
Yes, hoping he won't eat you.
Yes.
Tell our audience, what is an honor killing?
And most Americans think that honor killing is the process of a family member killing a girl if she commits adultery. This is only one perspective. There's only one part of it. Honor killing is killing anyone who dishonors either his honor, whether with sexual immorality, or his faith. So a Muslim becoming a Christian, like myself, is to be killed as an honor killing. So honor killing goes beyond the spectrum of killing just the girls. The first honor killing that we witnessed was going to our school. I didn't want to go see it, so my friend Ilyas went and saw it. And he came to school and described it to us as the father took the daughter because she was accused of adultery.
She was.
She was. She didn't really commit adultery. But he decapitated her on the doorstep of his home. And the entire community came as a witness. The Israelis, of course, arrested him, put him in jail, and the community raised a fund to bail him out. There is a difference, and that's what Americans need to understand. You are trying to compare yourselves to the Middle Eastern ways. You're trying to make a beacon of democracy in Iraq, not understanding that we think differently than you. Our source of knowledge comes from Islam. Islam is our way of life. Islam is our culture. Islam is our laws. Islam is our future. Islam is our destiny. And thank God I got out of Islam, Pastor.
So the people who are believing that Islamic people are going to come to America and become Americans are deluded. They are people who are going to come to America who are going to continue to practice their faith, which is not just their faith. It is an ideology that's all-consuming. It's what we do, it's what we say, it's how we dress, it's where we go, it's who we love, it's who we hate. They hate us because it's a part of their faith to hate us.
Yes.
They are duty-bound by their faith to hate us.
Yes.
So there's nothing that we can do, can say, can give them, can appease them with, because they are practicing their faith when they hate us. Is that true?
Absolutely true. Every member of my family that moved to the States still is loyal to the Palestinian cause and the Palestinian people. My brother joined in the United States Air Force. He teaches his daughter to salute the flag of Palestine. And they tell their daughter, this is not your flag, the American flag. Palestinian flag is your flag. And I had a cousin who slammed his taxi cab into a synagogue, trying to kill himself and destroy the synagogue. I have another cousin who embezzles millions of dollars from the United States and aids and abets, manufacturing false passports. If I look at my family, just my family alone, I haven't found a single one that would sympathize with what I've done. In fact, my brother called my wife and he says, after he found out what I was doing, he says, tell your husband, we know what he's doing against Islam. Don't forget to tell him we know where he lives.
We'll be right back. You want to hear the rest of the story. I want to introduce to you the most urgent and important sermon series I have ever preached. World War III has begun. In this sermon, I describe the religious war that threatens the future of America. President Bush has said this nation is at war with Islamofascism. It is life or death. We want to live, and the Islamofascists want to die in a holy war. When did this war start? In the sermon, I say why we were attacked. Can we lose this war? What does losing this war mean to you and to America? The second sermon is from Abraham to Armageddon. In the third sermon, I talk about the judgment of the nations. I want you to get this series and let your family, your friends, and church members hear it. It's a wake-up call for America.
To order Pastor John Hagee's sermon series, World War III has begun. Call and ask for offer S0634. All three sermons are available on audio cassette, CD, and VHS or DVD.
Thank you for rejoining us. My guest today is Walid Shuibat. He was born in Bethlehem, He was trained as a child in the Islamic theology to hate the Jewish people, to consider them as the offspring of monkeys, to consider them as defiled, as the source of every malady on the face of the earth. And he bought a Bible and became a Christian. And he is now traveling the world telling his story. I would like to ask this question because I have read it and I need to hear it from someone who practiced the faith. Is lying acceptable in Islam for the purpose of advancing the Islamic faith?
Yes, lying is acceptable to make peace between husband and wife, and another occasion is in jihad.
To make peace between husband and wife.
So, Pastor, you can lie to the husband, and then you can lie to the wife, say he loves you, so you can kind of get him along. This is from the small element, the minor element, but the major element is in jihad. It goes beyond that. Covenant breaking is the major issue in Islam. You're allowed to break covenant because Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, in the Hudaybiyah treaty with Quraysh, broke the covenant, and he was critiqued by his Muslim followers, and he says there is no covenant with unbelievers. In fact, Pastor, when I confronted my father, it was the last words with my father. I purchased land from my own father, and I had the bill of sale. And as I left, I asked my father, I said, Father, I'm not interested in the inheritance. I'm not interested in your blessings. I'm simply interested in the bill of sale that we have. He says, son, you know in Islam we do not have to honor agreements with unbelievers. So it doesn't matter what covenant you sign. They don't have to honor the covenant. So what's the use of having all this peace treaty? All Christians must look at the word hudna, H-U-D-N-A. Hudna in Islam is the process of establishing covenant peace treaties with an enemy. And it's done for solely two purposes. One is to gain concessions, as the Palestinians did, and the other is to regain strength. This is why Hezbollah accepts this hudna. It's not the Oslo Peace Accord, as we think. It's the Oslo Hudna Accord. You look at it as the Oslo Peace Accord, but in the Middle East, we call it the Oslo Hudna Accord.
That's very interesting. That means any peace treaty they sign, they're not obligated to keep it.
Not at all.
Just an absolute waste of time to pursue it, because if they sign it, they simply are not going to honor it.
And anybody who buys it is just becoming another Chamberlain.
That's very, very interesting. I have never heard that. I have never read that, and I've done a lot of reading, but I've never, ever read that. That gives a complete clarity to a lot of things I have read. The Palestinians say that they hate the Jewish people because they occupy the land of Israel. But the hatred of the Jewish people, by the Palestinians, began a long time before Israel became a state on May 15th, 1948. Why is it? What is the real truth of why the Islamic people, the Palestinian people, the Hamas people, the Hezbollah people hate the